Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Okay, so after a couple weeks break, we're back with the fourth round of the 38th edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. We've already narrowed the field down quite quickly in this game. We're just down to six players left in this game for the fourth round. So this could potentially be the last round of the game. But we're definitely getting towards the business end of it anyway. Just to run over who the six remaining lucky bastards are really quickly. They are Calfoth, D1, D4, K10, Damien Handel for 20, Jack Soto, Trig, and Trostradamus, the much more successful alliance this time around of Trig and or Tros, sorry, Tros and Costradamus. Um, so obviously the only alliance left in this game, unfortunately, but maybe they'll go all the way. But anyway, best of luck to you six. And for this round, we have UFC 329, a rematch between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway. Um, so obviously these two have fought before, way back in 2013, which Conor McGregor won by unanimous decision on that occasion, but that was so long ago now. That's 13 years ago. That I don't think it has any bearing on this fight whatsoever, uh, because of the sheer time difference, the weight class difference, and how much has happened in the sport since then. But yeah, obviously all the headlines are the return of Conor McGregor. So this is actually his first fight for almost 5 years to the day. Because the last fought back in 2021. That's the one where he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier. Uh, so it's been a while since we've seen McGregor in the cage, and I think that's going to hurt him badly for this because he's not getting any younger. He's had a lot of distractions outside the cage. Uh, Holloway, on the other hand, he'd fought earlier this year, admittedly in the losing effort against Charles Oliveira, but it was a unanimous decision loss, fairly competitive fight, even if he did lose it. But more active is, and right now, I just don't see any way McGregor wins this, to be honest. I just don't see, um, I don't think we're even going to see a flash of the old McGregor at all, to be completely honest with you. I think it's, yeah, like I say, he's come back. He's obviously earning a lot of money for this fight. Um, and I'm sure he believes he can win, but it's yeah, this Holloway's improved so much since well, well, not just over the years, but I mean since their first fight, since McGregor's been active. Off the top of my head, I don't even know how many fights Holloway must have had since McGregor last fought. But anyway, I picked Holloway for a second round knockout. I reckon he'll probably take the first round off a little bit, maybe just sort of get a feel for McGregor, and then um, I'm sure McGregor would come out guns blazing. And once Holloway's got a feel for him, we'll finish him. That's my prediction for that one. But we'll see tomorrow night. Anyway, for this round, you're all going to you'll well, this is well, for this video, rather, you'll just want to see who you're going to be drawn with. So let's just get on with it. First up is Calfoth. Save me from rambling too much. Let's see who Calfoth um, is going to be paired with. Paddy Plimblett. Paddy Plimblett for Calfoth. Obviously, coming off the back of that war against Justin Gaethje. Um, I'm surprised he came back so quickly, actually, because I'd have thought he'd have taken a fair bit of damage from that fight. Uh, but um, but yeah, fair play to him. He's come back very quickly, which is so. He's obviously. couldn't have been too badly damaged from that fight, or at least not as bad as it looked anyway. Um, but I say that was a close fight, and he's shown he's now elite at lightweight. Uh, and obviously he had he's still got those wins leading up to the that Gaethje fight. So maybe Paddy Pimblett can't quite beat the upper echelons of the lightweight division. It'd be interesting to see how it'd fare against the likes of Oliveira and Tapuria and for instance, but it's he's definitely uh, solidified himself as a contender with that fight. And against Benoit Saint Denis, in my opinion, Denis just isn't at quite the same level. Again, he's a very interesting challenger. A lot of potential for him in his future, I'm sure, but he is he's the sort of fighter that would cause a lot of trouble for the other ranked lightweights, but not quite title challenger level that Pimblett is at the moment. So yeah, I think this is quite a good pick for Galfoth. I think Pimblett should get the job done, probably even finish Benoit Saint Denis as well. So a good start there, in my opinion. Okay, move on to D1, D4, K10 now. Let's see who D1, D4, K10 is going to be drawn with. And it's Adrian Yanez for D1, D4, K10. Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez with a Z on the end of it. Obviously fighting against former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt, and this is I've it's a close fight. I have sided with Garbrandt for this one, but it's that's uh it's mostly on account, to be honest, of the fact that we know the levels he can reach, um, but he's been very inconsistent. So I can understand why Yanez is the favourite for this one, even if I've personally decided to go with the underdog Garbrandt on this occasion. Um, it does make sense because you should always go for go for the fighter that's more consistent in his recent fights, and obviously uh, Inez is I mean, he's had a bit of a rocky patch himself, but overall, I'd say his recent body of work has been slightly better than that of Garbrandt, fighting better quality opponents. So, for instance, I'd say the draw with Ricky Simon last time out is um, a better result than Garbrandt's win against Long Zhao. Even though Garbrandt got the win and Yanez got the draw, is because Yanez a draw with a higher quality opponent is what I'm saying. I'm saying that Simon is better than Zhao, for instance. But so it does make sense on the back of that to go with Yanez. But I've just got a feeling that Garbrandt might cause us the upset here. But obviously Yanez got power behind him, and Garbrandt has been finished before, so that's always a risk. And if I was to bet on this fight, that's probably the most likely method of victory for Yanez. That's probably the way he's going to get it done if the bookies are right and he does pull out the win. So yeah, it's like I say, I think this is a close fight. I'm surprised at how long the odds are. I'm not surprised that Yanez is the favourite, but I am surprised that the odds are as far past they are. I'd have thought Garbrandt would be a little bit closer to evens, but in any case, D1, D4, K10 with a very good chance with Yanez, so could have been a lot worse than that. So yeah, two down, four to go, and two decent picks so far. Okay, Damien Handel for 20 next. Let's see who the wheel is going to give to Damien Handel for 20. Brandon Royval. That's Brandon Royval there for Damien Handel 420. And obviously in the flyweight fight against Leona Kavanagh. I never quite know how to pronounce his name. But again, another very close fight. I think even though Royval is currently on a two-fight losing streak, I would say you probably got to favour him a little bit more just because of the experience. He's 17-9 compared to Kavanagh's 10-1. So even though 10-1 looks like a better record on paper, that 17-9, the difference in the number of fights they've had is cannot be discounted. And Roy Vattel has been in there with a lot of very good fighters, but you can make the argument as well that he is on a bit of a downturn at the moment. Obviously, and obviously Kavanagh is rising very quickly. Very good wins to his name, particularly against Moreno last time out, who's was champion about two or three times at flyweight back in his day. So when he was playing pass the parcel with Davison Figueiredo for the belt, and to get a win over Moreno, again, you quite easily make the argument. Well, if you can beat Moreno, you can beat um, Royval, but it's I don't know. It's just yeah, like I say, I'm not prepared to completely write off the gap in experience between these two. Um, so I think Royval's got a decent chance there. It's even though this is the first, I think the first one to be given an underdog by the wheel in this game. It's in this round rather. Um, I don't think it's actually that bad a fighter to be drawn with. Um, and I say Royval very well rounded as well, so he's um, usually pushes for the to finish the fight as well. So all it takes is for Kavanagh to make one mistake, which, given his relative inexperience by comparison, that could there could definitely be gaps that open up for Royval to take advantage on, particularly on the ground. Uh, and if you do give Royval a limb, like a neck or an arm or a leg or something like that, he there's a very good chance he'll finish it. So I'm hopeful for Damien Handel for 20 here. I think he's got a decent chance with this. Even if the bookies would disagree with me yet again on this one. Okay, so now we move on to Jack Soto. Let's see who the wheel is going to give to Jack Soto. It's Alessandro Costa there for Jack Soto. Alessandro, how hell are we spelling this one? The Costa part should be easy. Alessandro Costa. Well, you won't have to wait too long to find out his fate. It's the first one on the card against Cody Durden. And again, another good pick by the wheel, in my opinion, because I've got Costa to win by knockout. Cody Durden fights, always great fun to watch. Uh, he's he always puts up a good fight. So I'm looking forward to this. And it's going to be a great opening to the card because he is the epitome of kill or be killed. A lot of his win or lose, a lot of his fights end in finishes. Um, and to an extent, that's why I'm favouring Alessandro Costa because he's got serious power. And again, not bad on the ground either. But I think it's more the power is going to be the deciding factor here. I can see Costa coming out looking for the knockouts, and I say Cody Durden has been knocked out and stopped before in his career, so I think this is going to be a very explosive fight, and the sort of fighter that Durden is, I think that's going to play into Costa's strengths perfectly for this one. So, yeah, not really a lot I can add to that other than I think that's a brilliant pick for that. To be honest, I think that's probably as good a favourite as you can ask for, really, on this card. But Doden, of course, he's crafty. He can get the win, and he's not exactly a pushover, and he's more than capable of finishing fights himself. But I think Costa's going to be a bit too strong for him. So yeah, all four so far, I think are pretty good picks to get, pretty good fighters. Okay, so we move on to Trig. Let's see who the wheel has lined up for Trig. Leona Kavanagh. That gives us a head-to-head here, which I wasn't expecting, given that there's only I suppose we should have expected. That's the sort of thing the wheel loves to do, isn't it? Um, Apostrophe there for Lona Kavanagh. Yeah, it's the sort of shit that the wheel loves to try and pull. Statistically speaking, you think maybe there's a good chance of everyone getting an independent fight and no overlaps, no head-to-heads, but the wheel's never going to be like that. So first head-to-heads, Brandon Royval and Damien Handel 420, and Leona Kavanagh and Trigg going head-to-head. And as I've said earlier, Royval is the one that I've gone with here, but Kavanagh is the bookie's favourite, and it does make sense for Kavanagh to be the favourite given his recent performances, particularly against Moreno, as I've said, and um, and given how fast he's rising in the sport, um, I say it does make sense for him to be the bookie's favourite, even if I've gone with Royval. More than capable of going the distance as well, Kavanagh, so which is good quality to have. He can finish fights. I haven't seen too much of him on the ground, if I'm being honest, but in terms of his stand-up game and knockout power, we've seen that he's demonstrated that, and that combined with the stamina to go the distance, that's a very dangerous opponent. But like I say, could he be a little bit too green, perhaps? That's my only concern. So I'm still going with Roy Val. So I still fancy Damien Handel to have this slight upper hand in this, but it does mean from the wheel that at least one of you will be going out. We've now got the head to head, so adds a little bit of jeopardy to it. It's for the next round, the field will be at least one entrant shorter. Okay, and now we move on to the last one for this round. It's gone quickly when there's only six of you in it. Trostradamus, and of course, the alliance between Tros and Costradamus, of course. Let's see if their luck can continue here with the wheel. Has been very kind to them on their comeback or third comeback, anyway. Oh, and it's Cody Durden for uh Trostradamus. That gives us um another head to head there. Um, well, I was saying I wasn't expecting any head to heads, let alone two. But of course that's a pure shithousery of this game. That's what the wheel loves to do. So yeah, Cody Durden and Costradamus up against Jack Soto and Alessandro Costa in the first fight. I suppose you can argue amongst yourselves takes the spot of the unofficial Lucky Bastard Game main event between the Durden Costa and Royval Kavanagh fight. Uh, but Cody Durden, as I expected, I think he is going to lose this. I think he's going to struggle in this fight. Um, Very experienced. He's, and like I say, all action fighter and more than capable of finishing opponents himself, but has been finished quite a few times himself. And someone of the with Costa's power and skill on the ground as well, very well rounded. You cannot you cannot write out someone like Costa, who's not exactly an inexperienced fighter himself, 16-5 in his career. Durden 18-10-1 by comparison, but Costa isn't it's not a situation where you, with say Kavanagh, you might argue he's a little bit too green. Costa's very capable fighter, has shown that many times, should be able to handle himself against Cody Durden, I think. So I think this might be where Trostradamus's run comes to an end in this game, but it's been a much more successful run than their previous incarnations have been in the past. Okay, so that concludes the fourth round draw for the um 38th edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. So we'll just run through those names one more time just to remind ourselves who's been drawn with who. We have Calforth with Paddy Plimblett, D1 D4 with Adrian Yanez, Damien Handel 420 with Brandon Royval, Jack Soto with Alessandro Costa, Trig with the owner Kavanagh, and Trostradamus with Cody Durden. So that concludes the fourth round draw, and two interesting head to heads is the main takeaway from this round. Um, Basically means we'll have a maximum field of four for the next round. Of course, the round could, the other way of looking at it is, as I was saying earlier, we're getting into the business stage of the game now, where potentially could have been the last round, but having two head to heads, that makes it very likely we're going to have a fifth round. Not a guarantee, as obviously if the fights get cancelled or end in a draw or a no contest, that will eliminate both fighters as per the rules. But with two head to heads, more often than not, that's going to guarantee at least two winners. So there should, in theory, be at least two of you in the next round. So I'll be very surprised now if this round is the last in this edition. But you never know with the will. Anything's possible with what the with what he'll churn up. You never know what the wheel's got in store for us. But to be honest, I think as well as the two almost guaranteed ones, I think there's probably a few more. I reckon we've probably got about four going through here. So I reckon most of the field should get through fairly easily. I think the wheel's been fairly kind, all things considered. So well, obviously we'll have to wait and see. But all that leaves me to say is best of luck to all of you, and good luck with your picks on Tapology. If you got any real bets on this card, then good luck with those. And well, until next week, so long for now.